It is time to take the C6 to the frame shop. Now, I'm hoping this isn't going to be a big, crazy, expensive thing, because as you can see as we move toward the front here, the driver's side rail is visibly shoved in toward the center in the tie bar, that bar that goes between the left and right rails there. That thing is really smoked. So I already bought a new tie bar, and we're gonna not only get the frame straightened, but we have to make it so that tie bar is able to get welded onto the front, because that squares up everything for the entire car from this moment forward. Progress has been made on the C6 Corvette convertible. Got the tie bar put on the front. The frame has been straightened. It was just a little bit along this bar right here. And the new tie bar gets welded on right here on the top and the bottom, and right there on the top and the bottom. I just sprayed some kind of a primer slash paint on the areas that had been welded and everything that's exposed. I was going to get some used inner fender wells, this part right in here, and I started looking around for prices and things, and I saw some for about 350 bucks. And then I made a discovery, and that is Stingray Chevrolet in Plant City, Florida has brand new ones, and I guarantee you, man, if you start looking around, they're going to be about $750 to $800 at a normal place. I found that they have them through their website, which is oemgmpartscenter.com, for $413 brand new. Now, I'm not going to benefit if you buy those from them or if you don't. But all I'm saying is, if you look it up online, that's how much they cost, and that's half price. So I'm getting a couple of those. In the meantime, I'm going to be sliding up under here. Well, you can't really see much, but I'm going to be sliding up under there and putting on the radiator support. I'll show you how that's done. I don't know how you guys approach this whole thing about putting a car back together, but I like to find the stuff that is the least expensive but still works properly. This little dude right here, I bought that off Amazon. As you can see, it's kind of adjustable here. There's a center rod that goes in there inside this, and then you just use the bolts to bolt it down. But I want to see if this thing fits and see if it works well, and then you guys will know, because this one was 97 bucks. It was the cheapest one I could find. Let's put it on here. This may come across like a daunting task in the beginning, but it's really not. There are 4 bolts down here that are 13 millimeter. This has been made easier for me because the old one was bashed off of the car during a crash where it went through a concrete block wall. But we'll get these out of the way. Also, this pointed out something. You ever notice how you think you have something painted, then you get up under it and you realize you don't? So I'm going to touch that up too. This is the area that arguably would be most prone to rust. So I'm going to make sure that gets coated. This thing looks like it's roughly the quality of the original, but it's hard to say, really. I mean, this piece is about the same as the stock one. This piece is about the same. The only real difference is that center portion that has those bolts going through it. The bolts can go top to bottom or front to back. I'm going to put them in front to back just because it seems like I'll have more options doing it that way. But let's get it slid up in there. Once we get this piece of the old one, it's made out of aluminum, so it's going to give a little bit, but I wanted to have a little more give with this area in the middle being able to just go left, right, up and down a little bit. Make sure it mounts up to the bolt holes. As you can see, there are just, well, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there are just 2 holes on each rail, and those are the bolts. So let's get it in here. And it's in. 2 bolts on either side. Now, I will tell you, if you'll notice, I don't have the radiator sitting on it, first of all, because mine's broken, but second of all, it's extra weight while you're trying to line up that bracket, so just leave those off. But that's where they go, the little rubber bushing on the bottom, into that hole respectively. And then you have a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to attach on here. You have that little plastic baffle that directs air and all this. There's a lot, you know, well, you've seen if you've taken yours apart, you know what's still to come. But man, bolted right in. So far looks really good. I'm going to snug these down just a little. Not a whole lot, because I may have to take them back out. Because once again, when I bought this car, there was no front end on it, so I don't know what it's supposed to look like except watching YouTube videos. So I'm officially happy, man. It takes a whole lot of squaring up of components under the hood to just get things where they're supposed to be. The first piece of that puzzle was getting that frame rail the way it needed to be right there, and then getting this tie bar on there, and then changing out the control arm on this passenger side. I think I'm still going to have to do a ball joint over there. But as you can see, this is roughly where it's supposed to be. Starting to get an idea how things are supposed to sit in there and line up. Next up, trying to figure out what all these do, where they go. At least this side still has plugs on most of them. The other side, it's just raw wires, man, just ripped loose. I'm assuming it's fog lights and driving lights and maybe the sensors for the airbag deployment. I'm gonna have to start looking at some schematics here shortly. There's a lot of stuff there, man. See, that one's just the loom. Dang it. Well, I drove it out of the backyard and brought it around to the front. I'm selling something out of the backyard and I wanted to be able to get it out, so the Corvette had to move, but it's kind of nice to see this in another location for once. Out in the light. You can tell there's some progress being made. I mean, that front end, once those panels go on there, should be able to start driving this thing. Looking good though. I have the radiator already and I have the condenser. I'm putting those in soon, and got the new skis down there. Looking good. It's going to be a nice car when it's all done.